Hello everyone and welcome back. Let's go over the boss mechanics for Atal Dazar for normal, heroic, and mythic. Up first we have Priestess Alun Za, and for her you're going to want to tank her on the platform that she is standing on. And for the tanks out there, whenever she does cast Gilded Claws buff on herself, that's when you want to guarantee your active mitigation uptime and maybe even use a defensive or two to stay alive. Now, while Priestess is going to begin casting transfusion for everyone in the group, you do want to run over to a pool of blood and pick it up, or else the boss will steal your HP and actually heal. So again, for everyone, while this cast is going out, go over to a pool, pick it up, and you'll be good. Now for heroic and mythic mode difficulties, the boss does spawn something called a Spirit of Gold, which you can see right here. It always spawns at the throne and alternates between what pool the spirit goes to. This Spirit of Gold must be DPS nuked down as quickly as possible. The good news about this is that you can stun, snare, and knock back this Spirit of Gold, so make sure you destroy the Spirit of Gold before it gets to the pool of gold. If it does get to the pool of gold, it'll start casting a big AoE ability that'll start hurting your team, so make sure you take it down. Something else that happens in heroic and mythic mode only is that you see these random orbs of gold floating around everywhere. You have to do your best to dodge them. Not only do they place a dot on you that does damage, but it also decreases the damage you do by 30%. So if you want to get this boss done, make sure you pick up pools of blood from the ground so that she doesn't heal, kill the spirits of gold as quickly as possible, and do not run into the golden orbs. Boss number 2 is Rezan, which is a giant dinosaur. Now for Rezan, you either want to tank up against the stairs or up against one of the pillars here in the middle. I suggest doing the stairs because there's less chances of spawning adds. If you see on the ground, there are these piles of bones everywhere. If anyone on your group steps on any of these piles of bone, they do come to life and actually become an add. So the less that you step on, the easier the boss fight will be. So what you want to do is pull the boss into this corner, stand on one side of the stairs, and face the group because the boss does have a tail swipe, so make sure you face the group. The boss will start casting a fear, and when this fear is going out, make sure you go and line of sight around the stairs just like this, so that that fear doesn't actually land on you. And after the fear goes out, the boss will start chasing someone and trying to devour them. Now in normal, heroic, and lower level mythic plus difficulties, I would suggest the person that is being chased just pop a defensive cooldown and actually get eaten up. And the reason for this is since you're not kiting the boss, you have less of a chance of stepping on bones and reanimating them. Now in higher levels of mythic plus, you are going to have to do the kiting, so hug the wall and go along the water so you do not step on any bones. The third boss in this dungeon is vol'kaal. Now in order to even begin the boss fight here, you do have to DPS down all the 3 totems that you see around here. They are constantly healing the boss, so you do need to take them down. In normal mode, you can take them down however which way you want, but in heroic and mythic mode, all of the totems have to go down within 10 seconds of each other, because when they get down to 1 HP, they start casting a full heal. So make sure you take down all 3 totems at the same time. Now for all difficulties, you are going to have a toxic leap during this phase, and this toxic leap is just a green pool on the ground, make sure to not stand in it. And a job that should be to the tank, since the DPS are focused on the totems, is to interrupt the Noxious Stench cast. This cast is going to put a debuff on everyone in your group, and this cast actually goes out on the first toxic leap and every 8 seconds after. So if your interrupt is on cooldown, then so is Noxious Stench. So if you limit this to only the tank interrupting, the tank can keep a very good track of it by just tracking the cooldown of their interrupt. Once all of the totems go down, you just have to nuke the boss, interrupt Noxious Stench yet again, and don't stand on any of the green puddles on the ground that you see littered everywhere here. This second phase is very high on tank damage, so as a tank, make sure to have really good uptime on your active mitigation and save your cooldowns for this second phase. Your healer will thank you for rotating your cooldowns. The last boss in this dungeon is Yozma. So for this boss, the tank will pull and actually get away from your ranged and healers. You do also want to interrupt the Racking Pain cast. Since it can be interrupted, it's just unnecessary damage that'll go out. And whenever skewer goes out onto the tank, you do want to mitigate it. It is 100% magic damage, so if you have magic damage mitigators or some sort of small cooldown, use that when you see skewer going out. And there's also going to be a lot of spiders on this platform. You do want to avoid them if you can, since they do pop when you step on them, but if you have immunity and you're starting to get overloaded with spiders, do your group a favor, use your immunity and pop as many spiders as you can. If not, your tank can pop a big defensive ability and go out and pop 2 or 3 spiders as well to start opening up that platform again. Now this is where we see the difference between normal, heroic, and mythic. At 100 energy in normal mode, one person will be selected by a debuff that looks like an arrow above their head. This debuff will spawn an ad that then goes to the boss, and if it reaches the boss, blows up and does a ton of damage group wide. In heroic and mythic mode, this debuff goes out to everyone except the tank. That means that you're going to have 4 ads. So what you want to do is the person with the debuff or the whole group has to run away from the tank, stand in one spot. When all of these ads go out, they can stun, snare, knock them back, and DPS nuke them down as quickly as possible. If one of these ads does reach the boss, you may be able to heal through it, although right now it is a lot of damage and very difficult to get through in Mythic Plus mode. So make sure you avoid that as much as possible by getting away from the boss and nuking these ads. That does it for this dungeon. Thank you guys for watching. If you like my content and want to help out, go ahead and visit my Patreon link down below. I also stream on Twitch and YouTube, so go ahead and give me a follow. And as always, good luck out there.